The Honourable House Leader for the New Democratic Party.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is for the Minister responsible for the Workers' Compensation Board. After several years of advocating for change, I was glad last year to rise in the House in support of a bill that would provide presumptive coverage of WC benefits for first responders, paramedics, correctional officers, emergency response dispatchers, firefighters, nurses, police officers and others who are diagnosed with work-related post-traumatic stress disorder here in Nova Scotia, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, will the Minister confirm that these changes will come into effect by the end of October 2018, as promised when the bill passed third reading a year ago?
The Honourable Minister of Labour.
Mr. Speaker, it's my pleasure to confirm that on October 26th of this year, the changes for presumptive coverage will take effect for Workers' Compensation Board.
The Honourable House Leader for the official New Democratic Party.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you for that answer. My next question will be to the Premier. I don't think it's possible in these lines of work to mentally prepare yourself for the things you may have to see, Mr. Speaker, and it may take years to fully understand the toll it takes or recognize the symptoms and seek treatment or diagnosis. Many first responders continue to suffer the effects of PTSD. Some have decided the suffering was too much. I don't want to attend another funeral of a first responder, Mr. Speaker, like I did this spring. So I'd like to ask the Premier, will the Premier provide assurances for those who are currently in limbo waiting for the WCB decision and the many others who have been denied coverage in the past, the ability to have their case reviewed under the new policy for presumptive coverage of WC benefits for first responders?
The Honourable Premier.
Mr. Speaker, I thank the honourable member for the question. I know, Mr. Speaker, he and the member from Hants West and other members of this House who have volunteered in their communities, Mr. Speaker, volunteer firefighters. We've seen, Mr. Speaker, things that many of us have no capacity to kind of understand the impact it would have because we haven't been there. His passion and commitment to this has been, I think, a true example of what it is to be a legislator in this House. Through successive governments, he continued to ensure in his own humble way that those in our communities who are first responders who have been suffering with PTSD finally been heard. Mr. Speaker, I want to tell the honourable member the regulations in and around that bill, as the Minister said, will be in place at the end of this month, and I will take the question that he brought to me to that department to ensure that those who are also suffering will not be denied because of a cutoff date or time, that those cases will be looked at in a way that is compassionate and caring for those individuals.